So this is my latest project. It's a 1980s XS1100. So this came to me from a friend of mine and it was all in boxes. So it was just a rolling chassis. I'm not a big fan of IKEA projects, but I thought I would take this on. I started with the engine because it was the easiest to work on for now. And I want to remove all of this paint and corrosion that's on the engine. So I started by using some sanders and some grinders as well as some paint remover to remove all the black spray paint that was originally on this.
Okay, I like it, Picasso. Yeah, that way.
After some time, the paint remover started to work and loosen up all of this spray paint.
Now we play the waiting game.
So then I can just scrape it all off with a knife. Anything I didn't get, I put into the sandblaster, and this was able to get rid of some of the paint, some of the corrosion.
Many unbearable hours later.
Then I used some baking soda in a compressor and a sandblaster. As you can see, the chrome is back to being shiny. I also replaced all the bolts with stainless steel and the gaskets as well. This engine hadn't been started or moved for 2 years, so I wanted to do a compression test on it, so I filled it up with oil first. But unfortunately I ran into an issue. The starter motor wasn't engaging the engine, so I wasn't getting good compression, it was spinning. So I've seen this before on XS1100 that I own.
One pair of pants later.
So I loosened some of the bolts on the oil pan, and the next morning I was greeted with a floor full of dead dinosaurs. But luckily enough, a bag of kitty litter just sorted this all out, so it just soaks it all up. So if you learn anything from this video, this would be one of them. So I'm just removing the oil pan now to get access to the starter motor. So the little gear that the starter motor spins is not engaging. So originally there's a little clip that sits on the kickstart or the starter motor. As you can see here, it's almost like a wishbone. I need to get access to this. So it was easier to go from the oil pan, and then I'll take off the clutch cover and the basket as well. The previous owner had put a kickstart on this. The 1980s models didn't come with this, so this was retrofitted, which I believe could also cause this issue as well. Maybe the clip has loosened. So I'm just trying to get in here, getting access to it. So it's just here. Now I'm going to pop this off, put it into the vise and squeeze it, try and get that clip as tight as possible. So now I'm just placing it back in. So while I'm here, I just decided I might as well change the clutch out as well and some of the springs. So I'm just loosening all the bolts here. Now, as I said, this engine had been sitting for a number of years. My friend had tried to sell this to me 2 years ago. So I've known about this project for 2 years. Within that 2 years, I don't think anything was done with the motor. I'm going to replace all the springs as well. So you can see here all the clutch plates and friction plates are all stuck together. This is due to it just kind of rusting and being stored away. So it was lucky I replaced these because I don't think I would get good engagement. Putting back the Kickstarter gear and putting the clutch basket back in now with all the clips and the bushings and everything that needs to be there. So you want to go clutch, then friction plate all the way up, slowly stacking them. Now originally I just placed them like this. I would say if anyone's doing this the next time, use the top basket, line them all up and then place them in it. Later on you can see here that I actually did that approach and it was night and day difference. So now I need to tighten the nut and the little plate that keeps the nut from backing out. So a little bit of help from my father, I was able to get this tightened. So he's holding the clutch plate. I'm using the torque wrench when we get it up to spec.
Jiggery jiggery do. See?
And now we're just pressing down this clip just to make sure the bolt doesn't back out and the nut doesn't back out. Tapping it down with a little punch. Ideally you want to replace these, but yeah, I'm too tight to do that at the moment, so I'm just going to do it this way. Hopefully it doesn't bite me in the ass later on. So new springs, new clutch plates, and I sanded the friction plates. So I'm just tightening up the bolts here, making sure to do an X pattern. The reason we want to do this is not to compress the springs too much on one side, so try and take a star formation, alternating so it's even. Wiping away the gasket sealer. Just putting the bolts in now. Gonna tighten them up to the torque as well, just to make sure they're all compressed. The gasket has got good engagement. As you can see, I've been spinning the ratchet for many years. I have it down as an art form now, using my wrist a lot. It's very handy sometimes, you know. Those late nights really paid off. So we're doing a compression test again. Cylinder 1 is 100 psi, so this is good, but unfortunately I'm getting the same issue before with the spinning starter. Second cylinder is 75 psi, cylinder 3 is 75 psi, and cylinder 4 is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some oil down the cylinders. It could be that the oil rings on the pistons are seized, so we're doing this again. Starting with cylinder 2, that went up to 100 psi. Cylinder 3 is around 90 psi. So we're seeing improvements on cylinder 2 and 3. And cylinder 4 is 100 psi as well. You can kind of hear the starter's not engaging correctly, so I have to look at that hack again and see if I can fix it again. So in the next video we'll start working on carbs, and hopefully by the end of this we'll place the motor back into the frame. So thank you for watching. Any feedback is always appreciated. Till next time.